of you out there in TV land, so good night to you. Those watching from in the diaspora, we're live streaming NBC Television St. Lucia, NBC Television St. Lucia. We're live. Tell a friend to tell a friend that Police Insight is on. You know, and there's this gentleman I met recently. I forgot to take your name, but you said you always watch the show. I saw you in Kaimaji. You were heading to the bakery. So if you are on, sir, thank you for supporting. There's so much love, a lot of love, despite what recent videos may try to, you know, the perception that videos are trying to give. A lot of people are wondering if the police is not being supported by the public, and I could tell you that is so far from the truth, you know. And videos are always a point in time, people, always a point in time. I have two distinguished gentlemen in studio with me. Before I get to introducing you to them, we have a press release. Shane, we have a press release from the Police Welfare Association. And let me go about reading it. So it says, following the election of officers to the various branch boards, election of officers to the executive of the Police Welfare Association was conducted on Tuesday, April 27, 2021. We are therefore pleased to inform you that the Police Welfare Association's executive is now constituted as follows. President, Mr. Travis Chico. Vice President, Mr. Zario Faswa. Secretary, Miss Anne Joseph. Assistant Secretary, Mr. Mario Chico. Treasurer, Mrs. Sienna Gasto. Assistant Treasurer, Mr. Callix Xavier. Public Relations Officer, Mr. Stanislas Albert. And Assistant Public Relations Officer, Mr. Alex Morgan. The new executive commits itself to putting in a work plan, I like to say, put in place a work plan for its 2-year tenure to better serve the membership, and looks forward to the continued support of the fellow associations within the Caribbean Federation of Police Welfare Association. Regards, Ann Corporal, and Joseph, Corporal 806, the Secretary of the Police Welfare Association. So, ladies and gentlemen, everyone listening, we have a new executive, and Mr. Travis Chico has retained presidency of the Police Welfare Association. You could read into that as much as you would like. You can, my guests are chuckling on the side there. You could read into that as much as you like. I had the opportunity of serving under the leadership of Mr. Travis Chico, and I've made no bones about it. In my opinion, that's my opinion, I believe he's one of the best presidents we've ever had. The man is not short of you know, he has his shortcomings like any other individual. But Mr. Chico, if you're listening, it was an honor serving with you, my brother. I know you have the zeal, you have the passion for you know, putting yourself sometimes in the back and putting forward the interest of your colleagues. And I know with the executive that we have there, Mr. Zario Foswa and the rest, I know you have an excellent team, and we expect nothing but excellent representation from you, the new executive members of the Police Welfare. And who knows, guys, given what's the hot topic now, you know, everything now is the videos, our citizens always like to press the record button when the police is trying to effect an arrest. And most of the times we are not aware of the amount of times the police sometimes give verbal warnings, sometimes plead, sir, you are committing an offense, sir, please do this, please do that. And then when the police finally decides to make an arrest, individuals feel empowered by other people to resist. They feel empowered to resist. For whatever reason, for whatever agenda, they feel empowered to resist. And then, you know, it's posted on social media. So maybe Welfare Association, the new executive, maybe we could be looking at, and I will ask my guests that eventually, maybe we'll be looking at a time where we need to do the recording ourselves. Body cameras, anyone? Maybe we need to sign that into legislation to protect ourselves and the public, okay, from the actions of the police and from those who resist and give the perception that the police is using excessive force. So maybe that's something the new executive could look into. Other various forms of non-lethal weapons. Yeah, we need to give the police a little more options when it comes to things like that. Anyway, people, without further ado, Dennery massive, Dennery massive, Dennery, everything that is Dennery. Tonight is your night. Now, listen to me. That doesn't mean the rest I don't want you people from Gross anywhere else to turn off, you know. No, because what we're going to be discussing will definitely have a lot to do also with your community. And by listening to what my guests have to say, especially when it comes to their achievements, you know, probably the rest of us could learn a thing or two. So we have the Dennery Police Station in the house, and I shall now introduce my esteemed guests. So first of all, to my immediate right, we have the sergeant in charge of administration, the sergeant in charge of the Dennery Police Station, and that is Sergeant Callix Xavier. Mr. Xavier, good night to you, sir.
Good night, St. Lucia.
How you doing, my brother?
I'm fine. Fine like salt.
Okay, also known as the very entertaining, very popular King of Soca, Cacao, King Cacao. What do we do without Cacao? You know what I'm saying? And then to my far right is none other than, if you know, sometimes you could say the term the bossman himself when it comes to that district of Dennery, the assistant superintendent in charge, and that is Mr. Sean Alexander. Good night to you, sir.
Good night to you, Zach, and good night, St. Lucia. Good night, Dennery, and the rest of the listening public. Good night to you.
How you doing, sir?
I'm fine.
You're fine?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And we're going to have a great discussion, people. So this is where you tell a friend to tell a friend that Police Insight is on. So let us get into the meat of the matter. First of all, I will start with the Assistant Superintendent. Sir, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, good night again. My name is Sean Alexander. I am the Assistant Superintendent in charge of Dennery and Richford. I have been a police officer for more than 30 years. Yeah. More than 30 years. I've worked in various departments. To name a few, CID, major crime, immigration, drug unit, CIU, which is the intel department in the police force. So these are the few places I work, and also I work grocery for a little while. So I have a wealth of experience, a number of areas that I worked. Each department you work give you a different perspective of policing. So I worked a number of places.
Excellent, excellent. How about you, Sergeant Xavier? Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Callix Xavier. I'm 23 years service. I've worked several departments in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, like the Immigration Department, the RIT Department. I have worked at the Central Police Station. Probably I should eliminate the stations that I have not worked at. Probably about 3 of them. But I've worked almost all the outstations in St. Lucia, except Soufre, Grosile, and Bab. No, I worked Babon. So that's about it for me.
That's it for you?
Yeah,
that's all you want to say about.
Well, for
it's amazing.
Yes, we're speaking policing tonight.
We're speaking policing tonight. I so agree.
Yeah.
I also like to say good night to DCP Pelios. Hi, Miss Pelios. She is logged in. Stephanie Henry, good night to you. How are you doing? Yes, it is what it is, my darling. Yes, I took a little step down from welfare for now. Okay, so let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, ASP. We've heard that term, Assistant Superintendent of Police. You know, and you know, ASP. What is an ASP? What are the duties of Assistant Superintendent of Police?
Thank you, Zach, for that question. Well, the ASP, which is the Assistant Superintendent, is just like it suggested, is the assistant to a superintendent. My function as Assistant Superintendent is to direct and organize, and also to develop development plans for the station, oversee and maintain records, the diary, make sure the diaries and all the different registered station are kept properly. Also to manage the resources of the station, which is like the vehicles, the manpower of the station, make sure it's deployed properly and in proper use. Also to evaluate the persons under my command, which persons would know who works in the government services, where we do appraisal to make sure that is done, to evaluate persons on a regular basis, to make sure that what they're supposed to do are being done. So these are my functions basically. Critical incidents operation, I need to take, as an ASP, you need to take control of command of operations. So if the station is running operation, I need to take command of such. There's an incident, an emergency, an incident like a serious accident on the road, or a serious shooting or something, some kind of crime, serious incident. I need to be there to take command of that until maybe major crime or some other department will come and take over that investigation, but I need to manage that. So basically, I'm a manager basically. What it is, I'm a manager that I manage the resources of the station, and all what the station does, I manage that.
Excellent, and that's what an ASP is. And I know some of you sometimes wonder, but he's still a police, right? Yeah, he's a police officer. He could arrest, he can do whatever.
Yes, I can do that.
Yes, but he has his role to play in our organization. As you know, we have a structure, a hierarchical structure. And when it speaks to structure, gentlemen, what could you tell us first of all, what's the structure of the Dennery Police Station?
Well, let's speak about the Dennery Richford Police Station, because I'm responsible for both areas.
So Richford Station
and Dennery is under my command. So basically, the structure of the two stations, I am overall in charge of the two stations, followed by a sergeant at each station, with 2 corporals at each station, and then the constables down the line. So each station will have 2 corporals and about 18 constables.
18 constables.
Yeah. So these 18 constables. Yeah. About 18 constables between the. Each station will have 18 constables.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what would you say are the main objectives of outstations like Dennery and Richford?
Well, an outstation does everything, because you are an outstation, you do traffic, you do crime, you do warnings, everything that happens at the outstation, you take care of it. Unless it's something really major like a homicide and the perpetrator is unknown, major crime who is trained for that, they would come in, they specialize it, come in to take over the investigation. Maybe there's a child abuse, some kind of rape or something like that, then we have specialized unit like VBT, the Vulnerable Persons Unit. They will come in and probably either take the case or assist the police at the outstation to further the investigation.
Excellent. And when we hear the Dennery Police Station, every department or station will have what you call a jurisdictional boundary. What is the jurisdictional boundary of Dennery? For example, where someone has to be for them to say, okay, something has happened to me, I must go to the Dennery Station. And also you could speak to that of Richford. Okay.
Well, between the two stations, between Richford and Dennery, our jurisdiction starts from the top of the Battle Hill.
Okay.
All the way to the Poile, basically.
Oh, that's a huge area.
Basically, it should be up to the Poile Bridge, but anything that happened beyond in the Poile community, the Dennery basically respond to it. If persons remember, recently they had an incident in Poile, and the Dennery police took the case. We don't really depend on MICU. We just take it. We don't argue about whose jurisdiction is it. We
all one team.
Yeah. Yes. So we just intervene and we just do it. And I think most people from Poile, I don't know if it's closer. I really never checked if it's really closer. But something happened at Poile, they'll quickly call the Dennery station and they'll call the MICU station.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
that's amazing, isn't it? Because usually when you hear Poile, you think of MICU.
Right. Yeah. So because it's Poile, MICU. Yes. So basically we'll just respond. And just do what we need to do.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the public really doesn't really care.
Yes, we don't want an argument over whose jurisdiction and blah blah. We don't want that kind of argument. So we all there to serve the public. So we just respond and we just handle it.
ASP, how long have you been in charge of Dennery?
This year would be about. This year is going on my 3rd year.
3rd year.
Yeah.
Okay. Has been an enjoyable experience?
Yeah.
Has it been?
No. I try to, wherever they send me, I try to just do the best I can and to
Yes.
elevate the department or the station that I'm sent to. Try and put things in place and make it a better place to work. And I'm thankful that now I have the next person in line or the next person after me, to manage is the sergeant, and I'm happy that I have a strong sergeant that we can, make Dennery even a better place. Presently, persons will probably hear in the news, Dennery always have a shooting, but despite that, Dennery is basically a quiet place because it's just one set of persons are, in that kind of thing, but Dennery is basically a quiet place.
So just saying the majority of can I use the term Denneryans? Is there such a thing called Denneryans?
I'm not sure. Should invent it.
They should invent it. Law-abiding people. So.
Basically, yes. It's just law-abiding. And what we found out, most of the things that happen in the area is persons from outside. Who come and hang out with other persons from the Dennery area, other young persons, and these things occur. So it's not really people from Dennery that is doing that. So it's basically from outside.
That's interesting. Okay, so let's talk about offenses being reported at Dennery. I believe we have the stats for Dennery. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Okay, so Dennery, tell us, Sergeant, you're going to take care of this one?
Yes, I'll take care of that.
All right, so let's hear what happens in Dennery. What's really the problem in terms of offenses?
Okay, the offenses committed at Dennery, it's quite a few. It falls under almost all the categories. Some of the most reported offenses in the Dennery Basin is threats. We have threats. That's in 2019, 175 cases of threats reported. And in 2020, we had 156. There was a decrease. In 2019, we had 118 assaults reported. And in 2020, there was also a decrease. There was 97. The third most reported offense is harassment.
Interesting.
There was 64 cases in 2019 and 45 in 2020. So we must say that these are summary offenses being reported in the Dennery Basin. So it just goes to the point where the ESP was saying that Dennery is relatively a quiet area, but we have noticed an increase in gun-related offenses.
Okay.
From 2019 to 2020.
An increase. Okay.
Possession of firearm, we had 7 matters in 2019, and we had in 2020 9 cases reported. Possession of ammunition, in 2019 we had 3 cases, and in 2020 we had 5. In 2019, discharging of firearm with intent, we had 2 cases, and in 2020 we had 4. In 2019, possession of imitation firearm, that is the toy gun to commit an offense. We had none in 2019, and in 2020 we had 1. But it's quite interesting when you look at the stats. In 2021, the detection rate, Dennery is way above. It's a cut above the rest.
And for people who don't, before you continue, Sergeant, for the citizens, when we talk about detection rate, what does that actually mean?
The detection rate, these are the offenses that were cleared up for the month.
Okay.
Of January in 2021, we had the percentage of 71.43. In February of this year, we had 72. It's increasing all the time. The officers are working. We are pushing them to the limits to get these offenses cleared up. Investigate the offenses, especially when they are known offenders. I don't believe that if there is a known offender, it's Jack Jones who committed an offense, and Jack Jones should still be out there, and the offense has not been cleared. So we are putting a lot of pressure on these known offenders. In March when I saw the stats, I was like, couldn't believe it. I had to recalculate.
Yeah, to make sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Okay, we had a detection rate of 92.68.
Wow.
And I have not seen that at any other police station. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, that is it for the detection rate at the Dennery Police Station. Is only we just conclude in April.
So gentlemen, you're saying that if I'm driving through Dennery or Richford and someone has, let's say, insulted me, I should not worry. I can come to your stations, make that report, and I know, even though it's just a warning I'm asking for, that the Dennery and Richford police will be on that case. Well, that's what you're saying there, is not what you're saying there.
Yes, whenever it's reported, we will get out there and it will be detected.
Excellent, excellent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a short break. It's amazing. It's really great news when it comes to the officers at the Dennery Police Station. Stay tuned to Police Insight. We will be back.
Did you get the COVID-19 vaccine? Then you may experience one or a combination of side effects, or even no side effects at all. Side effects may include pain or tenderness in the area where you got the vaccine. You may also notice a little swelling or redness. To manage these, you may apply a clean, cool, wet washcloth or an ice pack over the area. Throughout your body, you may feel chills, fever, nausea, joint pain, tiredness, headache, or muscle pain. To manage this discomfort, you should get plenty of rest. Drink fluids, but avoid alcohol and caffeine. If you need to manage pain, you may take paracetamol, not aspirin. You may continue to take all medications prescribed for you for your health condition. Vaccinate. For you, for yours, for us.
Aging gracefully is the hope for everyone. But when you age prematurely, most people think that something is wrong with you. The natural enzymes and building blocks in your skin start to deplete, so fine or deep lines and wrinkles appear, making you look much older than you really are. At Derma Clinic, we can help repair your skin and change the way you look in minutes. These treatments will make you look younger. At Derma Clinic, we treat all kinds of skin problems, such as facial lines, dark circles around the eyes, crow's feet, and frown lines, using all-natural hyaluronic acid filler. So maintain and improve your facial appearance. For more information, call 453-6417 or 485-9818.
Calum Didier Foundation Inc., in collaboration with Inspire Me, presents a Mother's Day virtual telephone concert.
On Sunday the 9th of May at 4:30 p.m. Live stream on NBC Television, Facebook and Instagram.
Featuring Michael Robinson, Arthur, Ronald Buhingson, T.C. Brown, The Mighty Pep, Toriel, Ezra, Humper, and lots more.
Entertainment by Shaq Fu Comedy King.
And Toxic Wave Dancers.
On Sunday the 9th of May at 4:30 p.m.
Please support. Pledge to save the neonatal intensive care unit baby.
Boost your commercial success with NBC TV and NBC Social. Don't look back. Invest in your advertising. Reach your target audience at peak times and off-peak times. We deliver strategically placed advertising spots at the most competitive rates. Also ask about our production services, which include television ad production, jingles, and documentaries designed to suit your business needs. We also deliver classified ads designed for land sales, job opportunities, and more. Advertise with NBC TV and NBC Social.
vaccine is here and is for people 18 years and older.
High-risk healthcare workers, first responders, law enforcement,
as well as people living with chronic conditions.
And our seniors 65 and over. The vaccine is absolutely free.
Ou sa registre online, en community center qui en community ou.
Or with your private healthcare provider. Vaccinate for you.
Pour moi.
For us.
Welcome back to Police Insight. Your host there, Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte. In studio with me, representing the Dennery Police Station, Assistant Superintendent of Police Sean Alexander and Sergeant Callix Xavier. At this point in time, I always say hello to those on the Facebook chat platform. So I'd like to say good night to Don Marie McDonald, Kidron C. Gustav, Victor C. Anthony, always logged in. Gregor Rudolph, how you doing, my brother? Good night to you. Angela Hippolyte, Junior Yulil, good night to you. Nathaniel Wilfred, Omani Joseph, Manny Vig, always logged on. Peggy Edward Daisy, Mrs. Daisy, good night to you. Ingrid Antoine. We also have Dandre Victor and Aaron William. Good night to you all. I see some of you already posting some questions and having your little chat there as usual. Yeah, some good questions. We'll hopefully get to them momentarily. We are opening the lines early, so we are going to have that discussion. If you know you have something to ask myself or my guest, it's 4533-911, 4533-911. You could also WhatsApp me on 7200401, 7200401. Hopefully also we might probably hear from the new, well, not the new, or should I say the returning president of the Police Welfare Association, Travis Chico, who might probably dial in and say a little something. He's never short of words. You know Chico already. So let's continue the conversation with our guest. Okay, how about what's the status with road safety in Dennery Richmond? What could you say about that?
Okay, road safety in Richmond Dennery. I think because of our proactive approach in the roadblocks that we have in almost weekly, we might have 2 or 3. It has really kept the roads in that region safe. We have minor accidents, runoffs.
Okay.
Just this week we had a motorcyclist run into a car. Not much injuries, so it's nothing to report. We have as our 4th objective on our work plan to conduct more road safety campaigns.
Excellent.
We can probably give out leaflets, conduct more checks, and whilst in the checks you can speak to persons, and I don't always believe in giving tickets. Probably we can give persons who are obeying the law a gift item.
A gift item?
Yes, we can give them a gift item. I mean, these are the persons who commute the road every day, and you see them and they always intact. So we can commend them and give them something as a police too.
Excellent.
It's not only about reprimanding people.
Okay, gentlemen, you know that community policing is one of our major threats when it comes to tackling crime and other issues. Let's talk community policing, strategies, programs. What has Dennery been up to?
We have a lot in stock for Dennery. The Dennery leg of community policing is exploding. As part of our work plan 2021 to 2022, we have embarked on several new initiatives to bridge the gap between the police and the community. We have assigned a community relations branch officer who will be working closely with the youth officer of Dennery.
Okay. Can you say who that
she don't like her name to be mentioned.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
But I will still do it because she really works hard in the Dennery Basin. Zephyr Williams.
Hi, Miss Williams.
Yeah, and we have to date we have also established a stakeholders committee. This is a group of almost 42 persons so far from the Dennery Basin. Principals, we have coaches, we have youth workers, we have just young persons that will be engaging.
Sergeant, do we have a call? Okay, let's take that call. Good night, caller. Thank you for calling Police Insight. Good evening.
Yeah, how are you guys doing there?
Very great.
Very good.
Okay, I have a concern. Well, it's not directly to the ready community thing as this, but a concern I have with the road when it comes to road safety. I find between the Castries and G-Port especially, because I use that road very often, I noticed that we have a set of trailer trucks on that road. And I really think officers should pay attention to some of these trailer trucks. I'm talking about the reflectors on these things, because some of these vehicles, if you're driving at the back of these things, sometimes night time, it is very difficult to identify long trucks, some of them. And I want to use the word some, because I noticed a number of them from maybe distance way back, you will identify that it's a trailer truck, but there are some of them, not until you get close enough. And the speed that these guys drive, after they don't have the reflectors or they don't have these lights to indicate, man, these guys are fast. The other concern is the tires that some of these things have. Man, that's a hazard. I have looked into it myself in identifying or looking at some of the tires. These things have the wires in the tires already projecting out. And they have these heavy things on the road, these bad tires. Some trailer trucks may have in the back have about, if you put it, let's put it so 8, sometimes only 2 in the back that's really good. And the rest is balls, they're bad. So I really wish that something could be a notice to remind those owners or the trailer truck drivers rather to do something about it, because these guys, some of them, if you want to use the part with family, because they feel they're way up there, and it's not easy for these smaller vehicles to affect them in any way. You know, because it's amazing that trailer trucks, the areas that some of these guys want to overtake, the guys are overtaking each other, and you know it will take sometimes. I mean, look at the length of the stretches here. They're not so long. So if you drive in a smaller vehicle like a car, by the time you check the fence, brother, you have to make way for these guys get off. Because at the speed that they're driving and they're way above you, you have to get on the road.
Especially
so I really want something to be posted out there or keep reminding those people or the officers on that road, please try and take note of these trailer trucks. Because I see most times they stop these smaller vehicles. I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I'm saying I see these trucks are passing, you know, and after they pass a roadblock or they pass police officers, man, when you look at the condition of the side and the light, you know, it's bad. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, caller.
Thank you.
And before we continue, ASP, would you mind responding?
Thank you, sir, for that. As you're aware that, and you said you traverse the road very often in that area, you'll recognize that the Dennery Ridgeford always have a traffic check going on. For my part, most of the time when I at traffic check, I can't recall seeing any container pass through during the time that I was on a traffic check. I don't know if the sergeant probably witnessed any container trucks coming through.
What I know is happening is that most times when the police start off a traffic check, in about 10 minutes after you started the traffic check, you should expire it, because persons would send out voice notes and messages to persons. So some of these people, they avoid the traffic checks.
Yes, don't forget what you want to say. Yeah? We have another call, Shane. Let's take that call. And we really have to get back to that, because he made a point that I want to.
Good night.
Good night, caller. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Good night to your guest.
Yes.
Good night, sir.
I must say that they are two good men.
Thank you.
Good men for a while. I think I have worked with Sean in my younger days.
That's
I'm of age, you know. That's way back when I was in the police force. And I saw the sergeant perform something in the village, and I'm proud of him, man. Kakal, I saw he came to village once, and after he searched a young man, I think he found some marijuana. He just taking marijuana, he threw it, and he gave him a lecture. He tried to leave the block and look for work. Well done, my brother.
Thank you very much,
but
sir.
I want to ask a question. I don't know if Wasco put something of late in the water, and it seems that the younger police officers seem to be drinking that water very often.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if that water that Wasco produced, it gave them a little hyper. And you must pass on some experience to the younger fellas, man, guys. But I saw the way that they were arresting a Rastaman that. And I am a law-abiding citizen. At the age of 53 years, I have a clean police record. I support the police. I'm not in drugs. I don't deal with no kind of illegal activity. So I see myself as a law-abiding citizen. And to me, if somebody go foul to the law by latching on to the hair of a Rastaman, where a Rastaman locks in the sacrament, you see, to me, I have never seen Sean or any one of y'all arrest a man by latching on. And you can hear the people pleading, let go the man here. To me, that is totally wrong, that. I'm not supporting that. And I want to condemn the actions of the police officer.
Colin, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Maybe one of the reasons why you never see it happen to Sean and Xavier is maybe because they condone a certain level of respect. Probably if it was they who were on the scene, the Rastaman would just say, okay, I'm going with you. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I believe what you say there. But the latching on to a man's head, I saw in your heart of heart. I mean, you will not say that on national TV, but you will not support that, guy. I support that. And to me, the Commissioner of Police,
well, Colin, what I could tell you, we according to the act, okay, we supposed to use reasonable force when executing an arrest.
Yeah, but now, it's a to a man here.
Now,
to a Rasta man here, and it is sacrament.
Now, if was a police officer is conducting an arrest and he used certain force, if the individual being arrested, or if a citizen believes that the force the police officer used was excessive, then there are steps that that person could take to get redress in the courts.
I respect that.
You understand? Would you like to?
Yeah, let me just say something. So I strongly believe that if you know that you have not broken the law and an officer is effecting an arrest on you, you should just follow the officer and go to the station.
But you want to make the move.
And the other thing that really aggravates the situation is the bystanders who has no good advice for the person that's been arrested. When you facing that court, it's only you. But they always tell you, drop the man, or they knock the officer, or they try to obstruct in one way or the other. I believe there are two sides to a story, and sometimes in videos we only see one version, and that's that person's narrative. So not saying that I'm taking the side of the police officer or the civilian, but both. We have to look at both sides of the story and then to come to
Okay, my second part of my contribution tonight,
yes,
which I will give somebody else the next turn. I want to tell, because I too was a police officer, I want to tell the police officers, you see during that silly season there,
yeah,
try to be as impartial as possible.
Good advice.
Try to be impartial as possible. Do not allow yourself to be political pawn, because party comes and party go, and at the end of the day, you all are left there to do your job. Have a good day, my brother. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. ASP, going back to the previous caller, there's this perception that the police don't really. We have another call. Okay, good night. Oh, Dennery Police is just attracting calls tonight. Good night, caller. Good night, sir. Talk to me. Very fine.
Fine, sir.
We got Dennery in the house.
Sorry for calling you very Kaka. I usually say one thing there.
Can you speak a little louder, please?
Okay, I said I want to compliment Kaka.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
I really said one thing there. I've never heard that from no police officer from I'm about 67 years of age. I've never heard that from no police officer before that they would, when they're doing traffic checks, they would compliment the good drivers. I've never heard that coming from no police in the world. And Kaka, I have to tell you, kudos to you for saying that. Because they're good citizens.
Thank you very much, sir.
On the road, and if that could happen, that's a big plus for you.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about any big gift. Probably I could give them a hand sanitizer.
Let me just say, let me just say, the Babuno police, I think, are engaged in something of that sort. When they were giving out, Inspector Bradley, they were giving out little tokens, little food items like breadfruit and stuff like that to the drivers. So that have been done already by the Babuno Police Station. So so we won't be the first. Babuno leading the way on that one. Yeah, and it was really nice, a nice gesture towards the drivers. A very nice gesture.
Caller, can I ask you a question?
Yes, right.
When last you went through Dennery and Richford?
Dennery Richford was there on Sunday.
Sunday? Yeah. And what do you think about? I mean, in terms of the policing in Dennery?
I think they're doing a fantastic job in Dennery in terms of community policing. Yeah, the role they're taking, I think, is very good, and which I think Kaka is a great example of police officers, which I know Kaka very good because I'm a 10 teenager, so I know him very good.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, so I was saying about the container trucks.
Yes.
The no lights, the ball tires and whatnot. Once I am at a traffic check, and I know for sure the sergeant, if there's a traffic check, and any truck come through, especially with no lights and the ball tires, they will be getting a ticket.
Yes.
Because it's a hazard, not only to themselves, but to other road users. So they will be getting a ticket to ensure that they correct these deficiency on the vehicle.
Okay, truck drivers. So if you're passing through Dennery and Richford.
So truck drivers, the container truck drivers take warnings. I know most of the drivers, they're not the owners of the truck, but get your employers to get these things rectified, because you will be getting a ticket for these.
And I strongly believe that the truck drivers should be getting a ticket before any other person with a private vehicle, because I have a truck, and you make money by driving the truck and getting the truck to work. So when you make that money, you could buy your park lights that's missing, attach it to the front, buy your cables to join the head to the trailer. So
let's take that call. You lost it. Okay, you were saying, Sergeant?
Yes. Let me continue, Zach. We have a lot on community policing, and I do not want to be sidetracked, so let me continue.
But we still have to take that call. Okay. We'll get back to it. Trust me, we will get back to it.
No problem.
Let's take that call. Not my fault I have superstars, and people that I'm getting calls. Good night. Good night to you.
Hi, good night.
Good night, ma'am. I think you're our first female caller. Thank you for calling Police Inside.
You're welcome. Good show as usual, Sergeant Hiplet.
Thank you.
I think it's one that is really paramount to, especially what's happening in our little Helling of the West. There seems to be continuous break-in relationship between the police and the public, and it seems to be getting increasingly worse, especially with the advent of COVID. And as much as I understand that the law has to be upheld, to encourage the protocols and that people stay safe. I still see, you mentioned earlier in a call about the various videos that have been viral videos that have been going around in terms of how the police and the public interact when it comes to situations like that. And I think right now is a time where I think the police force has to look at how they can engage the public in better relationships. It's not looking very good. Tonight I listened to Mr. Daisy, the inspector or
the Commissioner of Police?
The Commissioner, sorry, of Police, Mr. Daisy, when he was addressing the questions put to him by the new panel. And there's, I think too, there's a bit of aggressiveness that comes from him that doesn't augur well. And I know that the police, you do your best. I commend the police. We need the police, and especially in these times, we need the police. And so we need to see better communication, better relationship between the police and the general public. I am not sure how that can be done, but I think it's very important, whether they are PR, there's some kind of public relation aspect that needs to be looked at, whether there's maybe more training or more dialogue with the public. I'm not sure. I'm just putting these things out there, but I think now more than ever we need to look at that and to better that relationship. And that's my contribution.
Thank you, Colin. Yes,
okay, ma'am. I just want to just say something on that, on what you spoke about. For Dennery, we at the Dennery station, Dennery and Richford recognize that police officers need constant training. And as a result of that, we organize our own training for personnel at the two stations. Just last week or week before, we had a training session lasted from about 1:30 until about after 4:30, where somebody came in and they basically instruct the police officers on conflict resolution, how to deal with the public issues, being courteous and stuff like that. And if you do that, you get more out of people. Like the sergeant was saying, it depends on how you approach people. Because if you approach somebody a certain way and you're aggressive and whatnot, then you'll get resistance, you'll get hostility and whatnot. And the sergeant was saying the same thing also a while ago, where he mentioned that sometimes the onlookers, they just incite and the whole thing escalate because of onlookers, right? So we recognize that. So we training our officers at the Dennery station. We bringing in persons who are knowledgeable, who are capable to do this kind of training. So we organize our own training for our people. When our peace officers go out, we make sure we send them out with a senior police constable, right? Or even the sergeant himself go out and patrol with them. So we can avoid these kind of incidents that you've seen on the videos. Right? We can avoid these kind of things. So somebody senior is always with them. So I don't think in any time soon you'll probably see a warden from the Dennery area involved in such, because we have senior persons with them. All right. So I understand what's happening, and hence the reason why we taking proactive measures to avoid these things from happening in our jurisdiction.
There's a call on the line. Okay, can you take that call, and then I want to hear from the sergeant. We have to speak about the call. Caller, good night, caller.
This is Zachary Boswell.
Bosla.
Good night.
Alexander Boswell.
Good night.
Kakal Boswell.
Good night, sir. Good night.
Now, Mr. Zachary.
Bosla.
Madame Mr. Sarela, not for the Samuel. Where Sarela? Sarela, that's Monday.
Okay.
Mana kau rasa mesti dia siap yes. Mana pada aku ini pakai solution somewhere. Mana pasti.
No.
You let boss like in your shy pressure certainly.
So let me just say something there. If I know Mr. Dizzy, I don't think Mr. Dizzy is what is being said there at all. Sometimes I am guilty of it because of the passion for the work that I do. I will try to speak as mild as possible, and you will hate in my voice. So I believe I should not be a PR person for the police force at all.
For the commissioner.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So dia kata dari balik mereka pasti orang.
Okay.
Kalau balik pun buat. Kalau barang apa awal itu, bakal pun muka sebagai polis, mereka pun muka sebagai. Kemudian, aku pun dia. Même dia mesti itu menjadi dari benda. Orang lah sesuatu dia. Itu lah pasal itu.
Yes, I was.
Okay.
I think that time was Minister Lansico. I remember you being awarded.
Right, I was there. We never be here too. You know who's so they understand? Mr. Commissioner Miss Nelson
and Miss Branford.
Yes, Miss Branford.
I was there.
Okay, that's all. Nous devons aller des quotas. C'est non, c'est non. C'est pas du matin, mais
Mr. Alpha, let me just interject there. I strongly believe that it is more than just the training. Right now, as a supervisor, I'm hands-on with persons, and we offer them training. We go out with them, we give them hands-on training, and you still get a little defiant as to exactly the kind of customer service level that you would want of them. So I believe that it stems from the family, the way they were brought up, and because there are some young guys, I look at them right now in the service, and the way I would respond to a superior in my time, I would not dare to do what they're doing now. You understand? And it speaks to maturity too. I believe to an extent that should be taken into consideration, how mature you are before you join the police force. Training is part of it, but you must understand that the police comes from the community, and they came from families. So if you have police officers coming from broken homes, you must expect that the police officers, that would show off in their work. So when I go out, I first assess the situation. If I'm going to a crowd where there is a party, I must expect the FN chemicals to affect the mental and physical faculties. So I must expect persons to behave in a manner that they would not normally behave. So, number one, I think our mode of operation as police officers should change. Number one, I believe in recording camcorders. So if they know you recording, number one, they will behave themselves. You inform them that you are being recorded, and then you approach them professionally, and you tell them what offenses that they are committing, and you tell them what action you would be taking. That has worked a lot for me, and the officers I go out with, I try to instill it in them and try to show them how to go about doing it. Police against what?
Police school. That guy, where is he from? The ghetto?
No, but they are not trying to get to the television or exactly. Because bukan apa itu so. He don't understand. Ma police but as actually they are so. Who bagaimana mau dimiliki? Kali ini it was. Let's see apa boy you were coming out. What is but the Nelson? You get so fast. You get up for us in the back to make communication. So teacher berapa hari ini? Answer very nice. I'm going to have a conversation. And this was at the time. So cari tentang mau kosong oleh governor ini, kakak. Banyak orang orang pun kakak ada yang pun di depan di depan parti kuat, parti don. Mundi kuat. So kakak bosan itu cakap bosan.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to remind the sergeant a good example of recording the Easter weekend. I think when he went to activity that was somebody was having in Dennery, and when he informed them that they would be recorded, everybody just bolted for their vehicle and dispersed immediately. You know, I mean, so it's a good way. So
yeah, you record the evidence.
Maybe it's time that the police force maybe consider probably. Camcorders on your uniform like in the US.
And we also must invest in ourselves as police officers.
That's right.
Sometimes you'll go on the internet, Amazon, you get in a camcorder for 20 US. If we go by the ban, we can spend $20 buying bays or any other thing that's not that necessary. Why don't we invest in ourselves? I strongly believe in investing in myself.
Let's take that call. And after I will take a break. It's a boy. My guests are amazing. Phone just ringing. Good night, caller.
Good night.
Good night, Officer.
I'm fine. Good night to you.
Good evening, sir. I'm calling your show for the first time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support.
You know, I am one of the biggest supporters of the police force, and I think you should hear my voice right now. I mean, I want to say that the inspector and the corporal and you, it looks like you will have about a good 60 years of experience among yours. You know, because the way you all talk, you all don't talk like a little child, you all talk like people that can make people understand and don't fight and listen and just turn and go away. But obviously, I call for something that I really would like to talk about. It is the runabout, the way people use the runabout, and the one that is going from Grosy Lane to Cass Street, especially in the morning. I believe, let us start by here. I believe there is 2 lanes coming from Cass Street, coming from the north going to Cass Street, right?
True.
You agree?
Yes, we agree.
Yes. Now some people are on the middle lane, and they try to come from the middle lane, and then they try to go to La Clery. Now, for me, I don't know if it's the parking around the runabout that needs to be looked at. I believe, in my humble opinion, to ease up the traffic, if you are on the outside lane, you should continue going down to La Clery and go to Cass Street. If you're in the center lane, you can go to Cass Street through VG, but you can go to VG, you can go on the airport on the center lane. What do you think about it?
I know when the roundabout was first constructed, the Ministry of Transportation, which is now changed now to infrastructure and whatnot, they had a program running on television where they were showing persons how to use the roundabout properly. Maybe persons haven't fully understand how to use the roundabout properly. So maybe the ministry can probably run that program again for persons on a nightly basis after the news or sometime during the news, so persons can be, acquaint themselves again with the proper use of the roundabout. Because I use the roundabout very often, almost every day. Well, not almost every day, and if you're not careful, somebody will hit you in the roundabout because somebody going the wrong way, come from one day and then they go into VG and they're not in the proper lane. So I think it's probably time come for the ministry to run that program again, the proper use of the roundabout. And now that we are constructing even more roundabout in St. Lucia, so probably they need to do that again, once again, for persons to understand the proper use of the roundabout.
And even with the one at Shaw, when people drive in the roundabout, let us say you have an American that entered the roundabout at Shaw, they cannot get out of it. Now, because they don't know how to get out because they drive on the right. and they enter the roundabout and they want to get out. You know that is a big problem for them.
Yes.
Again, the writing has to be looked at. And the other thing that I want to say before I don't take your time, it is, I am the representative of the cathedral still. I'm the president of the union still. One of the things that I would love for me to see, because there is a lot of, I know you cannot do everything. I have said that, and if you have listened to me throughout the years as president, you have never heard me come and criticize the post, not even once, twice, or three times. My relationship with the post has always been impeccable, because I understand my role when you're dealing with people. You are dealing with all kinds of people in your life. And every day you leave home, you see something you never see. So I understand that. But one of the things I would love to see in the new dispensation, I would like to see that the Ministry of Transport, especially for a lot of drivers that is taking chances on the road, that their licenses are not paid and they have no insurance. I believe, in my humble opinion, of it, that we suppose a representative either from the Ministry of Transport have to be at the traffic department, or at the traffic department should have somebody at the ministry, because there's a lot of things that we can get over within seconds if we have a representative in this area. What do you think about it?
It's a good suggestion, caller. But for sure, next week Tuesday, traffic will be on the show. So that is something we'll definitely explore a little more next week.
All right. Okay. Thank you, and I appreciate what I'm saying, and do a good job. I mean, you are ideal, trying your best.
Thank you.
The thing is that it's the limited resources you have and everything like that. I know it's not easy for you, but I wish you luck, and whatever I can do as the man I am, and you will call on me, I'll always be there with you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I think we are now due for a break, Shane. Let's take a break. Thank you so much, everyone, for the support and the call. Stay tuned to Police Insight.
Kalam Didier Foundation Inc., in collaboration with Inspire Me, presents a Mother's Day virtual telephone concert.
On Sunday the 9th of May at 4:30 p.m. Live stream on NBC Television, Facebook and Instagram.
Featuring Michael Robinson, Arthur, Ronald Buhingson, T.C. Brown, The Mighty Pep, Toriel, Ezra, Humper, and lots more.
Entertainment by Shaq Fu Comedy King.
And Toxic Wave Dancers.
On Sunday the 9th of May at 4:30 p.m.
Please support. Pledge to save the neonatal intensive care unit baby.
Sodium free and the proud recipient of the 2018, 2019 and 2020 Grand Gold Mond Selection Quality Award. Our choice is clear, crystal clear.
Boost your commercial success with NBC TV and NBC Social. Don't look back. Invest in your advertising. Reach your target audience at peak times and off-peak times. We deliver strategically placed advertising spots at the most competitive rates. Also ask about our production services, which include television ad production, jingles, and documentaries designed to suit your business needs. We also deliver classified ads designed for land sales, job opportunities, and more. Advertise with NBC TV and NBC Social.
The COVID vaccine is here and is for people 18 years and older.
High-risk healthcare workers, first responders, law enforcement,
as well as people living with chronic conditions.
And our seniors 65 and over. The vaccine is absolutely free.
Ou sa registre online, en community center qui en communauté ou.
Or with your private healthcare provider. Vaccinate for you.
Pour moi.
For us.
Aging gracefully is the hope for everyone. But when you age prematurely, most people think that something is wrong with you. The natural enzymes and building blocks in your skin start to deplete. So fine or deep lines and wrinkles appear, making you look much older than you really are. At Derma Clinic, we can help repair your skin and change the way you look in minutes. These treatments will make you look younger. At Derma Clinic, we treat all kinds of skin problems, such as facial lines, dark circles around the eyes, crow's feet, and frown lines, using all-natural hyaluronic acid filler. So maintain and improve your facial appearance. For more information, call 453-6417 or 485-9818.
Did you get the COVID-19 vaccine? Then you may experience one or a combination of side effects, or even no side effects at all. Side effects may include pain or tenderness in the area where you got the vaccine. You may also notice a little swelling or redness. To manage these, you may apply a clean, cool, wet washcloth or an ice pack over the area. Throughout your body, you may feel chills, fever, nausea, joint pain, tiredness, headache, or muscle pain. To manage this discomfort, you should get plenty of rest. Drink fluids, but avoid alcohol and caffeine. If you need to manage pain, you may take paracetamol, not aspirin. You may continue to take all medications prescribed for you for your health condition. Vaccinate. For you, for yours, for us.
Good night and welcome back to Police Insight. Your host here, Sergeant Zachary Hippolyte. In studio with me, we have the Dennery Police Station being represented by Assistant Superintendent of Police Sean Alexander and the Sergeant in Charge, Callix Xavier. Before we continue the convo, I'd like to say good night to Andre Suraj. I believe you're watching from Canada, am I correct? Good night to you, Andre Suraj. Also, we have new individuals in the WhatsApp chat: Nathaniel Wilfred, Tessa John, Delma Noel watching from the UK. Good night to you. We also have, who else there? Thea Joseph, who has stated ASP Alexander was great at immigration. He sure will be doing a big difference in Dennery. Terry Alex, thank you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Hopefully now let's get to community policing. What are your strategies, guys, for Dennery?
Okay. People, this year our work plan is heavily laden with community policing activities, and hence the reason why I appointed somebody from the station as the community relation officer for the station. As persons would know that the community relation branch is in Castries and the office is based in Castries, the officer is based in Castries. We thought of somebody, so I decided Dennery, Richford should have their own. So I appointed somebody from the station to do that aspect of the work for both Dennery and Richford. And putting that together with that person and the sergeant, we come up with a number of plans that the sergeant will share with you, a number of plans for the community, where he mentioned earlier that we already met with some persons like the principal, the community youth leaders and coaches and whatnot. We have already met with them. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we'll be meeting with some other persons again, where the superintendent in charge of the Northern Division and hopefully the commissioner probably will be there tomorrow to meet with some other persons. And then thereafter, I already went around to meet with the business people. We're going to have the business people in the Dennery area and Richford. We would come together so where we can meet at least once a quarter or as often they would like, so we can discuss issues that is affecting the business, whether it's something with things to do with crime, how the police can get more involved to assist them, anything that is affecting them that the police can assist with, whether it's a security crime, we can get together and discuss these issues. And I can tell you the business people are very happy that the police have approached them on that aspect. Very, very happy. A number of them would a number of them indicated that they would be at the meeting tomorrow, and then going forward that they would, partner with the police for us to get that going. So the sergeant will discuss a number of issues, a number of programs that we have in place for the youth, for the schools, for every aspect, every spectrum of the community. We have something planned for them.
Yeah.
Sergeant?
Well, yes, we must agree with that statement that crime affects everyone. And in the Dennery Basin, as the ESP said, he has met with some of the business persons. They're trying to put a group together where they could meet and take care of some of the issues that they face, because an increasing crime in their community is a decrease in business, and it affects us in more ways than one. So as part of our 2021 to 2022 work plan, we have partnered with the community youth officer of the Dennery Basin. One of
who's that individual?
This is Zephyr Williams, as I said before I started, and we went into the calls.
Okay.
So we have established a stakeholders committee where persons like the principals of the schools, the coaches, community leaders will be meeting, and they will work with us in forming strategies and also executing them to bridge the gap between the police and the community. One of the projects that we highlighted was the beautification of the Dennery Police Station yard.
Nice.
Where we would be having young artists from Dennery display work of art. We cannot touch the police station building because it's not ours, but we can do the lawn to the front. We could do some nice lizards with stones, and thanks to Harry Spain for coming on board with us, Mistress Daisy for vowing to give us all the products that we need to make that venture a reality. The second project we have in mind is the second project we have in mind is a hamper drive.
A hamper drive?
Yeah, hamper drive, where we'll be giving food items to the less fortunate persons. We also have 18 mattresses that will be given to the disabled. And I must commend the Dennery Police Station. They have a fund, and that money is coming from their fund to purchase the mattress covers and some other items for that drive that we would be undertaking. We also want to form an ex-police group. If you realize, there is a lot of lost talent and experience. We have in the Dennery, we have
especially
in Dennery, we have Mr. Noel, who was my commander at the time. We have Mr. Regis, who was the commissioner at the time, and so many of other officers. And they can impact positively if we give them that chance to do so. So we will be engaging them. And last but not least, we will be soon launching the Rising Stars Police Youth Organization, Dennery chapter. The youth organization will be promoting environmental, physical, and educational programs. With that, this program also give every member an opportunity for a scholarship after common entrance. The first, second, and third highest score will be receiving a scholarship from this organization.
That's nice.
I must say, I have been seeing a lot happening in Viewfort, and Dennery has a lot of talent. We saw the Dennery segment come, and it's sweep, and it's international now. And I believe there is much more in Dennery that could be on the international front. So what we want to do is to give them that platform where they could showcase their talent and show them that there is an alternative in making that finance that they require to live. So it's not only getting a job from an employer, but they can be self-employed. We want to give them that alternative. So this is what we have in stock, and as I said, that the stakeholders committee that we have placed together would be assisting us in making that venture a reality.
Excellent. Shane, I sent you some images. You have them? Can you just put them on the screen whilst the ASP expand a little more so we could... So ASP, in terms of what we were talking about, that's
all
an
right.
example.
Some of the beautification the sergeant spoke of with the young talents. These are some of the design in the compound that we look into to do in the compound of the station. So we started off in the compound of the station.
Images like that.
Images like that. The stones, we paint the stones and whatnot. So young persons can showcase their talent. So we start at the station, and then from there we move on to the schools and other places. We can do the same. So these are some of the what we are looking to do. This should start by next week. By next Friday into the following week, we should start doing that. We already acquired some of the stones and the paint, as the sergeant mentioned.
And that will be in the station compound?
The station compound.
Wow, that will make the place look so beautiful, I could imagine.
Well, the dream is...
Thank you, Shane.
The dream is Dennery would be that police station where it would be a model for other police stations. I think the commissioner would say, I want that other station to be like Dennery Police Station.
Yes.
And that's our vision. I must say we will try our best to keep the young persons engaged. You will not see a change in quick time, because what is happening now, a lot of persons see like there is a breakdown in society. It took a number of years to get to where it is now. So don't expect with some of the initiatives that we're taking, it will take like a month or two to change things around.
It's a long-term goal.
Excellent.
It's a long-term.
Let me just check the WhatsApp texting platform. I don't want you to say that we forget you guys who send your messages and questions via WhatsApp. And we have a comment here. Good night, officers. I would like to commend the ASP and Sergeant based on all what's being said. Hope all your good intentions work. I especially wish to commend your policy on the peace officers, where you ensure that a regular officer is always out on duty with them. I don't believe the police is to be blamed for the various recorded confrontations involving the COVID wardens, but because of your policy, you are certainly making a difference. And that's from a viewer there. Thank you so much. Let's see what else we have here. Good night, gentlemen. I noticed some people wearing something like a mask, but you can only see their eyes. It looks scary. I don't know the name of it. Is it legal to wear that type of mask? I think it's like a ski mask. Yeah, and it covers the head. I think there's a gray area there because the legislation speaks to any type of covering.
Okay, I think before what I know, the legislation before COVID was illegal to wear a mask, but because of COVID now you are asked to wear a mask to cover your nose and your mouth. Persons now went a little further and they're using a ski mask, which would cover their head and just their eyes exposed. So like the sergeant mentioned, it's just a little gray area because I won't call it a mask, but it's a covering. And once it's a covering, according to the law, I think it's okay. But before COVID, then you could not wear a mask in public because it was an offense. So it's kind of gray area.
Excellent. Another message there. Is the law only for when a particular government is in power? Just asking. No color.
Silly season, we're not getting there.
we're not getting into that one. No, we're not going there. Don't forget, you could continue to send your messages via 7200401. You could also call 4533911 for questions for myself or my guest. Gentlemen, what would you consider the public perception of the Dennery Police Station? I mean, I did my own investigations, but what how good is the synergy between your station? And before you answer that, let's just take that call. Good night, caller. Good night, caller. How you doing?
COVID, right?
Well, you see, the law says that it's supposed to cover your mouth and nose.
Right.
Right.
The party go government, police people in the operation. So give job about don't know. That is the line of set by what TP, Kia company, that is what who saw Jao if you know, if I like for a visor, for right?
Yeah.
So I keep a man, how did you make a handkerchief?
Well, it's caller. It says on any other covering.
Yeah,
it says any other covering. So that's a covering.
It's a covering.
So I'm moving. I
But Mr. you'd recognize that if even when you have a regular the surgical mask, a regular mask that persons wear, and you go to institutions like the bank, and this place, they ask you to pull it down for a few seconds for the camera to pick you up for security reason. So if you have a ski mask, then they can ask you to do the same
thing.
Yeah, but Mr. Alexander,
I think they'll ask you to do the same. Don't think they will ask you to do the same.
In the bank, no way.
They wouldn't?
No, in the bank, I got no man. Who got like a cutif? That's the decision that very basic when it comes to man. So what kind of fear?
Well, I don't know because I don't wear handkerchief around my nose and my mouth. I use a regular mask.
Right.
Either N95 or the regular mask that the hospital would use. Fair enough.
Alright, Paula.
Fair enough, Mr. Afo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I can't even believe, Mike. Let's talk about the achievements and successes thus far of the Dennery Police Station under your command.
Well, I don't want to say under my command because any achievement at the Dennery Station is everybody had to put their hands and their heads together to make it work. So I won't say under my command. One of the things, you know, stations have most stations have a lot of warrants at the station to execute, and most times they say you can't find the person or something, you know, and these warrants are just there piling up. I'm proud to say that as of last year when I left on vacation, when I took over the command of the Dennery Station, they had over 100 plus warrants, and when I left on vacation last year, and then the other person who was second in charge left also to another station, transferred. All 100 and plus warrants were executed except for one. The one warrant that we could not execute, but we found the person to execute the warrant on, and when we found the person was suffering from dementia, so it made no sense to execute that warrant on the person, so that warrant was returned to the court. So basically, then we cleared all the warrants that we had on records for years upon years. All these warrants were cleared, and I think presently we just maybe about 4 warrants because we try and execute these warrants. Just about 4.
That's
and I know other stations have hundreds of warrants, so about 4.
Excellent.
Yeah. So this is a great achievement because I know no other station would execute all the warrants. Some warrants are there for years, they can't find the persons, but we made a real effort and all the persons was found and executed.
Excellent.
So that's a great achievement for the station.
Challenges, Sergeant, that you would say Dennery Police Station is facing?
As in any organization, we must admit that we need to clean ourselves before we could go outside there and clean persons, right? Do our job effectively. So we are trying to look at how best we could improve our strength our
trustworthiness.
Yeah.
I did want to go down that. I did want to go down that path. But there are a lot of things that we cannot talk about on because it is for. I mean, if we have operations going on and different things, we'll not want to put that out in the public. There are a lot of other things, plans that we have that we'll not want to put out. But what we're trying to do is to clean up at our station from a station level, and then we could go out there and operate effectively.
Excellent. Final words, gentlemen. Would you imagine it's already 10? Sergeant, let's start with you. Final words, whatever you want to say. It's your spotlight. Then we'll go to the ASP.
Okay, I want to thank you, Mr. Zachary, for taking me on the show here tonight, giving us the opportunity to share with the nation and also the Dennery Basin as to the plans that we have for them. We want to ensure the listening public and also the Dennery village that we will be working with them to make sure that these initiatives become a reality. We must say that at the Dennery Police Station we will be turning over every stone in our community to make sure that things go right in the Dennery Basin. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sergeant. ASP,
yes.
Final words?
Yes. Just like they just echo the same sentiment of the Sergeant. At Dennery, we want to let the public know, especially the persons in the Dennery Richford area, that we want to let them know that once they have a problem and the police is needed, that we will be there. And we want to ensure that every report that comes to the station is given the same level of attention, not because somebody have a name or whatnot, but every report will have the same level of attention, so that they can have some kind of relief, some kind of satisfaction at the end of the day. If for in any circumstances that you feel you're not being addressed, or some kind of reprieve being given to you, they have persons like myself you can see, or the sergeant you can see, so we can deal with the matter and get it to some level of some semblance of where you feel better, right? Or you get the action that you need. So we just want you to know that we will look at every report basically in the same manner as we want to treat everybody the same.
Equal.
Right? Equal. Right? I know persons would complain to the police that they make reports and nothing is being done, they hear nothing and whatnot. We don't want that at our station. We want everybody to be treated the same. Okay? If you don't, or you feel that you're not being treated that way, you need to speak with me. Contact me. My door is always open, where I'm always willing and available to speak with people concerning the issues. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ASP. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, another great show, very informative. Thank you for all of you who called, contributed. Those who's watching from home, thank you so much for the support. Those of you on the Facebook chat platform, I love you guys so much. Stay safe. And those of you who WhatsApp, next Tuesday we should be having Grizzly's traffic department in the house, so we'll be talking about everything traffic related. Once again, stay safe and stay blessed. Say good night.
Kalam Didier Foundation Inc., in collaboration with Inspire Me, presents a Mother's Day virtual telephone concert.
On Sunday the 9th of May at 4:30 p.m. Live stream on MBC Television, Facebook and Instagram.
Featuring Michael Robinson, Arthur, Ronald Buhingson, T.C. Brown, The Mighty Pep, Toriel, Ezra, Humper, and lots more.